and it should have clued me into what was going to happen because this was so short. Well, Triple H comes out while Roman is celebrating, and he tries shaking his hand. Roman Reigns refuses and then spears Triple H. It's supposed to be a very cathartic moment, but it felt very heelish because Triple H has been behaving himself lately. Yeah, he does not like Roman Reigns. Yeah, he did kind of screw Roman Reigns over by making him participate in this tournament when he had previously won his number one contendership in a Battle Royale match. That was actually when the booking was pretty good. But it's not like Triple H has ever attacked him. It's not like that he's really stacked the odds against him. He's just pretty much forced Roman Reigns to compete in these various matches, but he actually seemed fairly low-key compared to how he treated John Cena, Daniel Bryan, Ambrose, and even Roman Reigns throughout 2014. That was when Triple H was actively being the corrupt corporate executive, and that time he would have deserved to eat a spear. But now, Triple H just seems kind of moderate in his heelness, and therefore I just kind of thought that was kind of a dick move from Roman Reigns, and he deserved what was coming. Unfortunately, what was coming was Sheamus, who kicks Roman Reigns, and I'm like, oh fuck, they're seriously going to do this. And then I actually felt a little bit of hope when Roman Reigns kicked out, and I suddenly realized WWE had a great opportunity to make Roman Reigns the underdog that they've tried and failed to make him to be. Because if Roman Reigns defeated Sheamus, that would have made all of this worth it. Because I didn't think Sheamus should have won the contract to begin with. And since then, he's been booked as a little bitch and horridly, not horrid, but very uninspired storylines where you don't really feel like he came out on top. And since then, he's just sort of there, very irrelevant, even though, once again, he is the Money in the Bank champion. So he has no momentum going for him. But if he lost, it would make sense for Sheamus to have had it, because they wouldn't really be killing Sheamus's career. He's been around long enough, and he's usually presented as a threat that even when he loses, I think they could rebuild him rather easily with time. And, it would have felt like Roman Reigns was overcoming the odds, because he not only beat Del Rio and Ambrose in the same night, he beat Sheamus. So he defied all expectations and came out on top. But no, Sheamus hits a second brogue and he gets the championship. Sheamus, who hasn't really been doing anything of note, is the fucking champion. Seth Rollins, for all the problems I had with how he was booked, at least felt like he was relevant when he cashed it in. He was doing a lot. He had, come off his victory over Ambrose. He was in a feud with Cena. And the Randy Orton storyline was kind of entertaining, so it made sense when he cashed it in. It felt like the right thing to do. Here, when Sheamus cashed it in, we last saw him losing to Ryback, who lost to Kalisto, who lost to Del Rio, who lost to Roman Reigns. Oh, shit. But above everything, Sheamus is just not that interesting right now. I think he's a good worker. He can become interesting if he had the right storyline. He hasn't been given that storyline, so they're like using the title in an attempt to make Roman Reigns sympathetic, which obviously worked so well, as it worked so well when they tried it with Cena when he got his ass handed to him by Lesnar. It's really hard to pull that off. Losing very rarely makes a winner, and it only happens with low-card jobbers who fans believe are being underutilized. Ziggler, Sandow, Bryan. Roman Reigns has not been underutilized, if anything. So, god damn it, they're just so out of touch with the fan base right now. Nobody wanted to see Sheamus as champion. And it's not like we loved to hate Sheamus as champion. We just didn't want to see him as champion at this time. And I don't mean any disrespect towards Sheamus, but it was just such a horrible decision that apparently they made last moment. WWE needs some serious long-term planning. They cannot do this on a whim bullshit that feels like that's comprised of the entire year for the company. It's just stupid. So everybody in this pay-per-view looked bad. Roman Reigns looked bad for losing after finally winning for 15 minutes. The people he defeated looked bad for losing to the guy who got defeated and for having the championship. It wasn't even 15 minutes, it was like 5 minutes. Sheamus looked bad because he lost early on to Ryback, who's been looking bad for a while. The only person who arguably benefited from this pay-per-view was Tyler Breeze, and I don't think that's going to last for very long, especially as it was such an underwhelming victory. So I don't even think most people are going to remember it. And yeah, Undertaker and Kane won, but they beat guys who no longer feel like they deserve to be in the same ring as them. So they didn't really benefit from it either, and it was just so boring and slow-paced. And even the good matches weren't enough to really make up for it. I'm not going to say you should watch the Ambrose vs. Owens match. I mean, it's a good match, but it's not something I think it's worth watching the rest of the pay-per-view for. At least with the Royal Rumble of this year, the Triple Threat match was awesome. Yeah, you should watch it just for that match alone, or at least just watch that match, but here, oh God, it's just horrible, 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 and I'm not interested in seeing what happens next, so I have to seriously consider whether I want to continue watching the main roster in wrestling right now, because it's just so bad. NXT is really good, but even that seems like it's going into some dangerous territory. I'm actually finding myself disagreeing with a lot of the booking. Oh God, okay, I'm done. This show sucked. 2 out of 10. Don't watch it.